There's a magical moment in June when the garden stops just growing and starts giving. It becomes this incredible landscape of abundance, a sea of green. But the most beautiful parts are the spaces we create. Because every empty patch tells a story of a harvest brought to the table and holds a promise of something new to come. The energy at this time of year, with the solstice just around the corner, is palpable. The days are long and full of light, and the garden responds with an explosion of life. Over the last 3 weeks, we've been living that story. A story of a garden in full, glorious light. It's a time of constant motion, of taking and giving back, of celebrating the rewards of spring while laying the foundations for the seasons ahead. It's the busiest but most rewarding time of the year. Come with me and I'll share the journey. The first gifts of early summer are always the most special. The reward for all those cold, hopeful days of spring. The turnips are first, their shoulders pushing up from the soil to let you know they're ready. Harvesting them is a simple, satisfying twist and pull. The sweetness of them at this stage is incredible. Perfect for roasting to bring out their flavour. And the beetroot. Pulling one from the earth feels like unearthing a jewel. We loosen the soil around them first to avoid bruising the skin, then gently lift. You can see the life in them, that vibrant colour that runs so deep. These first few won't even need peeling, just a gentle scrub before they go in the oven. We're just taking a few for now, leaving the rest to grow on, harvesting only what we need as the garden offers it up. And the same is true for the broad beans. They've been patiently swelling in their velvety pods. The first picking is always a joy. You're not clearing the plant, just selecting the pods that are perfectly ready, which encourages the rest to follow. Each one you open is like opening a little green treasure chest. And now for a story that began in a very different season. It felt like a wild hope back in the cold of January, tucking these seed potatoes into the soil. The dream was of a bonus early harvest, but the garden is a great teacher. And its lesson today is about energy and about respecting the seasons. The foliage is still green and vigorous, but these plants have been in the ground for far too long, taking up prime space that we desperately need for our leeks, so they are coming out today, ready or not. The beauty of the no-dig method is that even this process doesn't require any upheaval. We simply pull the stems to see what lies beneath. And here is our answer from the soil, a small handful. The plant put all its remarkable energy into creating this beautiful foliage, but had almost none left for the tubers below. It's not a failure, but a lesson in patience and listening to the land. We've learned that you simply can't rush the sun. The healthy tops will go onto the compost heap. And the greatest gift from this lesson is this wonderful, empty patch of ground, its soil structure still intact, full of potential. The garden teaches humility as well as joy, and the lessons continue over in the garlic patch. From a distance, the green tops look promising, but I've suspected for a while that all was not well beneath the surface. And the story the soil is telling us here is one about foundations. The bulb is barely larger than the single clove we planted back in the autumn. It hasn't formed proper cloves at all. This isn't a disease, but a direct result of poor preparation. This part of the bed is made up of heavy, compacted soil from when we built the chicken run, and it was never properly enriched with compost last winter. You can see the difference in its texture. It's a testament to the fact that you can't build a strong house on weak foundations. and the same is true in the garden. So, another loss for the kitchen, but a vital lesson for the garden. Before anything else is planted here, we'll be giving this bed the attention it should have had last year, with a deep, generous layer of our own homemade compost to bring it back to life. It's a rescue mission for this patch of soil. And into the space gifted by the potatoes, we place a new promise. These young leeks, a hardy winter variety, have been waiting patiently in their trays. To plant them, I use a dibber to make a deep hole for each one, about 6 or 7 inches deep. We're giving them plenty of room because as they grow, we'll draw the earth up around them to blanch the stems, making them tender and white. We're trying not to push the soil back in. We just want to drop a module into each hole. Then comes the magic of puddling in. The water gently coaxes the soil to fall in around the roots, settling them into their new home without any shock or damage. With that, a new story for the winter begins. A few weeks on, and the broad beans, which have given us so much already, are ready to pass the baton. After one final picking, it's time to thank them and clear the bed for the sweet corn. These plants have dealt with their fair share of blackfly this year, but pinching out the growing tips early on helped the plant focus on producing these wonderful beans. But before they go, they have one last secret to share. On the roots of this one plant I've pulled up, you can see these incredible little nodules. This is a hidden partnership deep in the earth between plant and bacteria, enriching the soil for free. So we say thank you to the beans by leaving their roots behind, a final gift to the hungry plants that will follow. And with that, the sweet corn can be planted. Sweet corn is one of the hungriest plants in the garden, a real powerhouse, which is why this partnership is so perfect. I give another generous layer of my homemade compost over the bed, dib a nice wide hole for each module plant. And they're planted in a block, not a row, so they can support each other and let the wind work its pollination magic to produce those beautiful full cobs later in the summer. And now we'll step out of the main garden and into the sanctuary of the Polytunnel. The air changes when you step in here. It's warm, humid, and smells of green, living things. It's a world of its own where the heat lovers thrive. Watering in here is a daily job, always in the morning, and always at the base of the plants to keep the leaves dry and prevent any disease. The first jewels are starting to swell on the tomato vines. Small green pearls that hold the promise of August sweetness. We're keeping the side shoots pinched out with a quick snap of the fingers. A little daily meditation that channels all the plant's energy into these fruits. Some peppers are covered in delicate white flowers, whilst others are fruiting nicely. And the melon vines are beginning their slow, determined climb and trying to set fruit. And here is our little patch of Perpetual green, our salad bar. We have a mix of lettuces and leaves. It's a cut and come again mix, a lesson in sustainable harvesting. We take the tender inner leaves for our own salads, and the chickens absolutely love the tougher outer leaves as a vibrant, healthy treat. It's a simple system, where a little for us also means a little for them, keeping everyone happy. And here at the potting bench, we get to dream of colder months. This is one of my favourite quiet jobs. the ritual of sowing seeds. There's a peace to it, the feel of the fine sieved compost, the gentle press to firm it down. Starting them in modules like this gives them a safe, protected start in life, away from slugs and other pests. To hold a dozen of these tiny brassica seeds in your palm is to hold the potential of a whole winter patch. Each one is a promise of a hearty meal on a cold day. It's an act of faith, planting for a season we can't yet feel, trusting in the beautiful, repeating cycle of the year. And finally, the most joyful story of all. When the new girls first arrived, they were nervous and unsure, keeping to themselves in the separate area we'd made. The first and most crucial step was letting them live behind a wire partition for a full week. It allows the flock to establish a pecking order through sight alone, without any physical conflict. There was a lot of staring, a lot of sizing each other up. For their first time truly together, we chose neutral ground in the run, scattering plenty of treats to keep them distracted. And after a few of those supervised sessions, the day came to just leave the partition open, and the result was calm. The work was already done. They had figured each other out, and today there is only peace in the coop. 5 new souls have joined our little flock, and to see them sharing this space so calmly, that is the greatest harvest of all. So, that's the garden's dance in early summer. A cycle of giving and receiving, of losses teaching lessons, of empty spaces telling stories, and new promises being planted. The garden is full, the pantry is starting to fill, and our flock is complete. Thank you for sharing this time with us. I really hope you enjoyed seeing how the garden has changed. What's the one thing you're most excited about in your own garden right now? I'd love to read all about it, so please let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed following along on our journey, a thumbs up would be brilliant, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to see how all these new plants and our bigger flock get on through the summer. Thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.